and you're feeling a power you're always at now.
This is I'm Losing My Voice, and you've done all the work. Karl's latest CD, of course, his debut CD featuring Choclair, who's sitting right over there.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you both for sticking around and getting up so early.
Thanks for having us.
Triple threat from you. You two, as I was saying off camera, you're both about a combined age of maybe 40, and yet you've both been in the business forever, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I started producing when I was 20 professionally, and won a couple of awards now. The Disc Award, which is in Quebec, like the equivalent to Juno, and co-produced Star Academy, which is Canadian Idol. So yeah, we've been in the business for a while behind the scenes.
And how did you two get together?
We actually got together. We were at the Flow, which is in Toronto. It's a radio station in Toronto, and we were thinking of getting a kind of a rap feature like Genuine or Maya, for my next single. And then they were like Choclair, and I'm like, yeah, man, I like Choclair. And then
He's won a couple of Junos. He's all right, eh?
Yeah, he is, and he's a great guy and a great talent, and he's Canadian. So I wanted to do something together so we can have like a double Canadian dual threat kind of Rush Hour Lethal Weapon type.
Now you must have heard of him from behind the scenes work, because you've worked with, well, out of Quebec, some of the biggest stars in Quebec.
Yeah, like I know that he was before he was part of Sky and everything, and he has built a good name for himself in the province of Quebec, and this was his first debut record. So when it came up, we were like, okay, yeah, let's go and try something, and we actually did another song first, and then decided to go and do Desensitize afterwards. And then they said, yo, you want to go to Cuba? I said, yeah, let's go to Cuba and shoot the video. So we went
Who
there.
says no to that?
Yeah, exactly.
He's lying about everything. It was just Havana. We wanted to go to Havana.
That was the whole reason you got together.
Yeah.
So you were a producer for a good couple of years before you started this debut, put yourself out front.
Yes.
Did you not want to be the star out front at first? You weren't sure? Or what was that?
The way it worked out is I always wanted to do my own thing and finally, express my own music and my own lyrics. But because my music to some record labels was good at the time, and it was so right on for the time, they wanted it for their artists.
Is that a problem when you get out? If you're a strong songwriter, they want to already promote the people that they've got names?
That's what I saw. That's the experience I had, and I was always trying to not fight with that, but just like, okay, great, record label's interested, great, but can we have it for our artists? I'm like, and now
but you don't turn that down. I mean, you're new, you're on the street trying to get a
That's
name.
exactly it. I'm a guy who's driven, and I want to build it, and I know that it comes, it comes around. So I just worked at it, and took a different route than regular artists, who go from the front door. I produced and wrote songs before, and now I'm doing the
But that means that by the time you got to this, I mean, you did everything on this album, and you could be in control, which a lot of new artists for their debut, they don't get to be as hands-on.
It's amazing, the things. I surprised myself on this record too, because I produced the whole thing and I wrote it and mixed it as well. So it is really my baby, and it's been you could say, I mean, it took a year and a half to 2 years to make this record, but the way I see it, it's been taking all my life, to make this record.
But the way you describe it, for 2 years, you sort of locked yourself in a room and just wrote. How much did you throw away? How much did you keep in that process?
I wrote about, for this album, it was about 75 songs maybe, and then I cut them down to like 30, and then, finalized the last 15, the way I wanted. I know, I was crazy, I was insane, I was weird about that.
But it means a lot when you come out with your baby.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because we are seeing a mix now into hip-hop. We're seeing sort of a Middle Eastern influence, and you brought some of your background into your music as well.
Definitely. I'm a Lebanese. My parents are Lebanese, and I wanted to, the older I'm getting, whatever that is.
Whatever.
The more
I lectured you about that.
Yeah, you did the 80s and the whole thing. Yeah, but the more I want to know about my heritage and my background and really discover what that is all about. So I was interested in doing something like that for my album, and I thought it'd be just something fresh, because I have a song called Butterflies on there, which we shot a video for. It was on Much Music and Music Plus in Quebec, and it was, I didn't know if it was something that was going to work necessarily. I didn't really, it's not that I didn't care. Of course, I wanted everyone to like it, but at the same time, I wanted to do something fresh. Just completely fresh, because a lot of people are doing the same. It's always the same.
Well, they get a hit and the formula, and I guess record companies, they don't want to stretch it.
No, and that's the thing, because we have our own team and our own label, and we did a good deal with the Maple and Universal people, and they're all supporting. And I was like, you know what? Let's do something that's gonna make people think. Even though I don't know what it's gonna do or if it's gonna be a big hit, whatever. Just let's do something that's fresh and original. And that's where I'm
You
at
seem
with-
to have tapped into something, because it has been a big hit so far. The
Thank
two of
you.
you together have
Yeah.
been a serious threat.
It's interesting, yes.
Talk a little bit about your lyrics, because hip-hop gets a real reputation for being negative, for being violent, but I'm wondering if you grew up, for a little bit anyways, you started out in Lebanon, your parents left, a country with a lot of violence. Is that why you want to bring a little more peace? I mean, you've seen
Completely.
serious street life in Lebanon.
I have. I mean, I could tell you some stories when I even remember them just as pictures in my mind
Yeah.
of someone, I hate to say that, someone getting shot in front of me, but I was really, really young, and I remember that, and my parents only, admitted this just like 2 years ago when I confronted my aunt with it. They always told me it was a dream that I had, a nightmare,
Right.
and I would always come back to them and say, hey, did this really happen outside my house? And they're like, no, the whole time. And then when my aunt told me, she's like, you still remember that? I'm like, you're telling me it's real? She's like, yeah. So
That whole street thing is not for you then?
No.
Be cool, be tough, be
definitely not.
bad.
Definitely not. And in a day and age where a lot of people are being like that for some reason, and it's cool to be like that. I don't know. I'm just more. I want to. We have airtime. Let's spread
Yeah.
peace and love. And especially from the background that I'm at. That I have. Everybody thinks that there's all the stereotypes with it. You see them in movies. And,
Yeah.
terrorism and all that stuff. It's like, that's such a stereotype because I'm making beautiful music and I'm just trying to spread peace in the world. And
You two are going to come back and play some beautiful music, spread some more peace for us?
Yes.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
for sure.
much. Stick around. They're very nice guys, actually. We've got more coming up.